Hi, I'm Marlow from Wild Food UK, and this is our Back to Basics 4 video that we're putting together for you guys during the lockdown period. And as it's lockdown at the moment, it's May the 8th, 2020, the year of COVID. If you're watching this at a later date, as it's the lockdown period, I can't go too far from my house. And also my wife is doing the camera work today with a baby in a sling wrapped around her. So forgive us if there's any little mistakes. Our cat's just come to say hello. Hello, Grumpy. There we are. This is a feral cat that's befriended us down here. I can't be horrible to animals, but I really wish you wouldn't kill the local wildlife. Anyway, onto the plants. This is a plant that I'm showing you because in the second video, in Back to Basics 2, I showed you gooseberries and I said look out for that kind of leaf shape as an indicator of potentially a fruiting plant. And here you've got our currants. A few different types of currant in the UK, and they have this leaf shape, which is again reminiscent of the gooseberries from Back to Basics 2. This is not what I'm after today though. I am actually doing this video on a practical level. This is my exercise, and I've also been asked to pick a salad for dinner, and we don't really want our currants going into the salad. Down here there's some other plants that certainly will though. Here, just as a note of interest, this is another slightly unkempt part of our garden, and we've got these bluebells. These are Spanish bluebells. I wouldn't have planted them, they were here when we moved in. Spanish bluebells are an invasive species, and they're gonna probably end up wiping out our native little delicate bluebells that we get over here. The way to tell that they're Spanish is that they stand straighter and the flowers come out from each side of the stem, standing upright. Our native bluebell is much more delicate and looks a bit more like this, but with all of the bells hanging down from one side, bent over, much more than this. If you see Spanish bluebells invading a native bluebell patch, then you should probably do something about it. Right, let's head this way. There's other plants around here that I've already spoken about. Here's one by my gate that I haven't spoken about before. This is the Back to Basics videos, so we are doing basic stuff. This is a sow thistle, the Sonchus family, and these are perfectly good for my salad, these leaves. So I'll pick a few of these. Now, it looks like a thistle, but not when you see the yellow flowers, which haven't quite opened yet. And also the leaves are good for salads because they're actually not spiky, or at least the spikes are very soft and malleable. So those leaves can go straight into a salad. And there you go, we've got started. Remember from Back to Basics 2 and 3, I've got some wild garlic and some hairy bittercress to go into this salad when I get back into the garden. Around here though, past our wooden mushroom and a wedding present from my father-in-law, we've got this plant here which a lot of you will recognise. You see it everywhere. This is common mallow. It's not going to go into my salad because there's better stuff around today, and this is quite an unusual plant flavour-wise. I'll just have a nibble of the leaf because it's a plant that when I introduce it on our courses, it is edible, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be eating it. But when I introduce it on our courses, I introduce it as a plant that tastes almost like you're eating air. There's a nice crunch to the leaves, but there is absolutely no flavour whatsoever. What the common mallow is good for is when it flowers. The flowers are beautiful and sweet and edible. Now, you could confuse it with things like lady's mantle and types of geranium, but when it flowers, if you look up on our website what the flowers look like, you'll be able to identify common mallow really, really easily, and it will keep coming back where you find it the first time. So everything I discussed today is on our website in much more detail. I'm going to run through things quickly today as I have in the other videos, but if you want to find out more about any of the plants that I'm talking about, then go to our website and look through the hedgerow guide or the mushroom guide. Well, I'm not talking about any mushrooms today, but we've got a mushroom guide on there. Or you could, of course, buy our book. Now, up here, into our graveyard here. This might seem a bit wrong to some of you, but there's nobody in the graveyard that's going to mind, and I do know the vergers as well, so they wouldn't have any problem with me doing this. In here we've got, well, there's some yarrow, mentioned that in Back to Basics 1, but here we've got some common sorrel, which I've mentioned but not been able to show you so far. Now, this is common sorrel, and the way to identify it is these pointy tails on the leaves. Now, also, it grows straight out of the ground. If you look here, it kind of grows in a rosette, and each leaf is growing straight out of the ground until you actually get the flowering stem come up. Now, these are one of the tasty things that are going into our salad today. They have a lovely citrusy, lemony flavour, a real zingy flavour, which is quite punchy, and some people find them a bit sour, but they are something that I particularly like, and they go well, very well indeed, with our favourite balsamic vinegar dressing. Now, if you have a look, I'll just show you this one last young leaf, because I've talked about lords and ladies being mistaken for this plant. You rule out lords and ladies because of the pointy tails on the sorrel leaf, whereas lords and ladies has rounded tails at the bottom. This leaf like this, I want you to remember it, because I'm going to show you another plant in a couple of minutes time that looks very much like this, but it has a different growth pattern. So anyway, our common sorrel's gone into the salad bowl. It's a plant that you don't want to eat excessive amounts of, because it's got a tiny amount of oxalic acid in there. Now, oxalic acid in large quantities can give you kidney stones, but I think you'd need to eat probably your own body weight or so of sorrel a week for that to happen. I eat it regularly without ever having had kidney stones in my life, but I have a very varied diet. I think if you had a mono diet of sorrel sandwiches every day, that could lead to problems. But anyway, it's in our salad today. Now, I help you up there. Let's head this way. Is she still comfy?
Yeah.
Actually got married in this church. So like I say, they don't mind us foraging for a few weeds in there. Right, heading down this way. Here is that lords and ladies, obviously much larger than our sorrel leaves. But you see the difference in the tails. The sorrel leaves have pointed tails, that's these bits down here, whereas the lords and ladies leaves, which would start smaller than this, obviously, have rounded tails. This one is not going in the salad. The sorrel definitely is. Down here, we've got some other plants that at this time of year, around May, adorn most of my salads. Well, I say plant, I actually mean a tree, and I've done quite a long video on this tree already. These are lime leaves. This is our native British lime, the Tilia genus or family, whichever, I can't remember. And these leaves are our lettuce substitute in the salad today. They are really, really tasty, and as you can see, there's an abundance of them. These are my favourite ones, these leaves that are nice and shiny and fresh. Now, sometimes you get a bit of extra shine on the leaves, a little trail of shine on the leaves. That shine normally comes from what's called honeydew, which is actually aphid poo, but it's pure honey, pure sugar rather, if you like. So when I see those little trails on the leaves, I do sneak some of those into the salad as well. They taste nice. Anyway, if you want something to bulk your salad up rather quickly, our native lime tree is something to head for. I think that will probably do. One more nice leaf there, and let's head down a little bit further. A few more things into the salad. How's your arm, Rachel? Are you okay? Good stuff. Right, what have we got down here? There are a few things. Much of what's in this verge here we've actually talked about. I've actually talked about before. Need to keep walking. But down here, here's some of it here, is a plant that I haven't mentioned in the Back to Basics videos. And it's a plant, again, that I will use in most of my salads at this time of year. So you can see there's a little top of the young plant, and here's some of the plant going into flower. Now this is in the Stellaria family, the same as our stitchwort. And you can see those flowers there with 5 petals that look a bit more like 10 because they're split. Now this is common chickweed, which is easily identifiable because it has a mohican of hairs on the stem. Roll that around, you'll see those hairs disappear. Hopefully you can see those. If you can't, check my other full chickweed video. This is a plant that I love putting in salads. It tastes great, and it's not one that you have to be really fussy about stripping the leaves off of, because the stems are just as succulent as the leaves. So when you find common sorrel, you often find it in quite large quantities, and you can just chop the tops off and put the whole lot into your salad. There's not very much here though, so now here's some more. Spot the little white flowers sticking out, and we'll just take a few of these tops just to go into the salad and bulk it up a little bit with a little bit of a different texture and a little bit of a different flavour. Okay, so what else have we got down here that's interesting? Just over here there's lots more chickweed. I hadn't seen this earlier, but there you go. You could easily bulk up a salad with this stuff pretty quickly. And this one, again, shows you that mohican. Now into the salad, and across here to a plant that I'm not going to put into the salad, but it's a lovely plant to know, and it's one I was using earlier on in the year. These are our hops. We get a few different types of hop, wild or feral, if you like, in Britain. They were imported from the States to flavour our beers. And you can use the leaves in salads, but I don't really like them. What I do really like, when they're young, these are a little bit old, but you'll find quite a few recipes for hop tops. You want them when they're almost like pea shoots, but hop tops. Discard all the recipes you find and just blanch them and fry them in butter and salt and pepper, and they are absolutely lovely. You can eat them raw. Yeah, these have got a little bit past their best. They're not going into the salad, but earlier on in the year we were enjoying these just blanched and buttered with a little bit of salt and pepper, like I said. Down here, some of our vetch flowers. Time to start making the salad look a little bit prettier. These flowers taste just like peas, and if you always go for the purple flowers on vetch, you are perfectly safe. Don't eat the peas though. The pea pods you get from vetch are toxic unless you really cook them. I think you have to boil them for like 20 minutes or treat them a bit like kidney beans for them to be edible. But the flowers and the young shoots, the young leaves are lovely. Now, earlier on in the video, a couple of minutes ago, I was showing you common sorrel. Here I'm going to show you a plant called Meadow Bindweed. Now, I'll find a, oh, don't want to put any grass in the salad. I'll find a sorrel leaf here and show you the rounded leaves are actually more like it. There we go, a slightly more rounded leaf. But in my right hand is a slightly toxic plant called Meadow Bindweed. In my left hand is common sorrel. Unlike lords and ladies, you could probably have a nibble of this without any ill effect whatsoever. The lords and ladies, as I said in the other video, is a major irritant. Gonna have to get into the side a bit, Rachel. So as I said in the other video, lords and ladies is a major irritant, whereas Meadow Bindweed is just slightly toxic and not very tasty. The way to tell the difference without having a nibble, you don't want to have a nibble really, is to just have a look at how it's growing. Meadow Bindweed will climb up plants, but generally you find it in meadows, in the same place, in grassland, in the same place as your sorrels, and you'll find it more trailing along the floor, rather than, as you saw with the common sorrel, this just grows straight out the ground in a rosette until it grows its flowering stem, which is a tall stem which will get to about this height, and the leaves do come out the side of that one, but it's never a climber, it's never a trailer. Anyway, there we go, salad's nearly done. Just a little bit further, Rachel, if you can stay upright for a bit longer. And I'm just going to finish off this salad. I did say that I was going to try and finish off every video with a mushroom, but my morel spot hasn't fruited yet, so I've missed out this video, but I'll put one into the next one. I'm just going to finish off our salad with this plant here. This is our Pennywort, or navelwort, or penny pies, or wall pennywort. Umbilicus rupestris, because it looks a bit like a belly button. And there you can see it's got a sort of succulent nature to the leaf. I'll show you, it's quite thick. And at this time of year in May, it's lovely and tasty. These are its flowering shoots. And there's nothing really that you could mistake it for. Maybe some nasturtiums, but they just add a bit of a peppery taste to your salad. This though, is our cucumber substitute. It tastes almost exactly like cucumber at this time of year. It's certainly got a texture a lot like cucumber, but it's a plant that you find growing out of any old, well, not any, but regularly out of any old stone walls, or on the standing stones down in all the erratics all over Dartmoor. You'll find it festooning those, and you will also find it festooning the menus and the tables in some of the best restaurants around, because it's a really tasty plant. So to add to our salad that we've got here, I'm just going to give it one last little tart up. Let's go back up this way. To add to our salad that we've just picked, we've got some wild garlic flower heads and some hairy bittercress, which are going to add a little bit more flavour to the salad. And just up here, somewhere just up here, I saw earlier, plant that was mentioned in many of my videos. Here we've got our white dead nettle with these lovely sweet flowers, which again are just going in to make the salad look a bit prettier and add a little bit of sweetness. So we do have an ant or two in there. They're not very nice, they taste quite vinegary. So we will remove those. But what we have got is a very fresh, very pretty looking wild salad, which, believe me, is as tasty as most of the salads that you'll get anywhere. So us foragers, do we actually eat what we pick? I'm about to. I hope you like this video, and I'm going to do another back to basics video as soon as I can. This one's a little bit shorter than the others, but there's the end result. In the meantime, as I said in the other back to basics videos, we're still in lockdown. Hopefully those conditions will be easing soon. But while COVID-19 is still around, stay safe, stay positive, and stay away from each other. Give each other distance. Thank you very much.